Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rohan, and this is my platform where I do fight sports related content. If you're new here, why don't you help me grow my platform? All you got to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it, and maybe hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. With that said, it's a very interesting fight coming up right here in my hometown in South London, Greenwich to be precise, as the former welterweight world champion looks to return and reclaim his spot at the top of the division when he fights for the first time since losing his belt to Kamaru Usman. In his fight, he takes on Leon Edwards, a streaking young man who's currently on an 8-fight win streak, and he lives down in Birmingham, just a 2-hour drive away from where the fight's being held. So it can be said he's got the hometown advantage coming into this one. It's a very interesting fight. It's one that I'm really looking forward to breaking down. For both of these men, there's key things at stake. For Tyron Woodley, at 37 years old, he can't be fighting for forever. So it's very important for him to get this win here, and if he can, re-establish himself and then move on to get a title shot in a fight that he thinks he can win if he was to fight Kamaru Usman again. Now, I don't necessarily see it that way, but he certainly does, and to be able to get that shot, he has to win here. For Leon Edwards, he's on an 8-fight win streak and he's finding it really hard to get attention. Obviously, he got 3-piece and assaulted by Jorge Masvidal, so it's very important for him to win this one. And this provides him the best opportunity he's going to get in his career to be able to really get into that title picture. A 9th win here, a win over Tyron Woodley in the main event in his home country, that sets him up for big things. With that said, let's go through the tape and break this fight down. Tyron Woodley is 37 years old. That makes him 9 years older than Leon Edwards. Now that's a key figure to consider coming into this fight, because at 37, being a fighter that relies on his explosive speed and dynamic, wrestling and stuff like that, at some point he will start to slow down. Is that sometime now? Alternatively, you got Leon Edwards, who's in his physical prime and in the peak of his career at 28 years old. He's still only going to get better, and it's very interesting to see where this fight plays out from here on out. Tyron Woodley comes into this fight with a record of 19 wins, 4 losses and 1 draw, and he takes on Leon Edwards, who's got a record of 18 and 3. Now, whilst they're not that dissimilar in the amounts of fights they've had, what's different is the amount of experience they've both had. That is very different between these both, and that's very interesting to see how that plays out and if Tyron Woodley is able to utilise that experience in his favour. Tyron Woodley stands at 5'9". Now that's where the biggest significant difference in this fight comes, in my opinion, in terms of sizing, as Leon Edwards stands at 6'2". That makes him 5 inches taller than Tyron Woodley, and it's going to be very interesting to see how we can utilise it. But they both have a 74-inch reach, so although the height disadvantage that Tyron Woodley is going to be at is quite significant, he's not actually that much of a disadvantage when it comes to reach. To describe their styles, Tyron Woodley's got that kind of explosive wrestling style. He can wrestle, but he doesn't really do that no more. He tends to favour his striking because he carries big power. He's got great overhand rights and he's got great leg kicks, and he's become very well-rounded as time's gone on. Once upon a time, he would rely on his wrestling. Now he's more of a well-rounded fighter, and he fights Leon Edwards, who is another well-rounded fighter. I feel that Leon Edwards in this fight, the style that he will probably adopt is going to be more of a methodical, distance-based style with jabs and kicks and keeping his distance, because Tyron Woodley is so dangerous. But it'll be very, very interesting to see this one play out. The key wins. Tyron Wood's got a lengthy resume of key wins, and that's why he's considered one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Now, going all the way back to his wins over Paul Daly and Strike Force and guys like Jay Heron, then he's also beaten the likes of obviously Carlos Condit, Josh Koscheck, Robbie Lawler, Stephen Thompson. Arguably, you can say that he's beaten Stephen Thompson not once but twice. He gave Darren Till the first loss of his career. He's got a long resume of great wins on his career. Leon Edwards, he's also got some really good wins. Guys like Vincent Luque, who I think a lot of he's beaten him. He's beaten Albert Tumanov, who's a great fighter. He's obviously beaten Rafael Dos Anjos, former UFC lightweight champion. He's beaten Cowboy Cerrone, who's another great fighter, and he beat Gunnar Nelson. All great, top, talented fighters. Not to the level of Tyron Woodley, this is a huge step up, but they are all great fighters as well. The issues that Tyron Woodley is going to have coming into this fight is, firstly, his age. Is that going to start to impact him? That's kind of an intangible and variable that we don't know yet. And secondly is sometimes his mindset, where he starts to coast. That becomes a problem sometimes for someone like Tyron Woodley, and in this fight that could most certainly become a problem, particularly in a fight where he's going to be fighting a young, hungry guy who's going to want to put it on him. And then of course we've got to think about his inactivity. He doesn't fight very often. He hasn't fought in over a year. How's that going to impact him coming into this fight? Leon Edwards, his issues in this fight is going to be his inexperience at the highest level. That's what I think is going to prove to be the biggest problem he's going to have in a fight against Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley is going to know how to ride out the waves of momentum and deal with it. Has Leon Edwards had the same experience? He hasn't, but how can he adapt? It's going to be very interesting to see. The X factor for Tyron Woodley is going to be his wrestling and his power, and of course his experience. And the X factor for Leon Edwards is going to be his youth, hunger, his momentum, everything that he's got going on inside, and his size. He's a much bigger fighter than Tyron Woodley, in my opinion. Let's get into my prediction. It's an interesting fight that I see play out in multiple ways in my mind. I feel like Tyron Woodley can win this fight. Tyron Woodley's got a lot of skills to win this fight, and I believe he's going to employ a game plan where he can utilize every bit of his tools to be able to get the win. I believe Tyron Woodley is probably going to be looking for wrestling in exchanges when they clinch up, because Leon Edwards is probably going to like to clinch up with him a lot, and he's going to want to keep it at a distance where he can explode in to break the distance between them. But Leon Edwards, alternatively, I think is going to want to maintain the distance. And I believe this fight has the potential to, at times, get very tedious and boring for a lot of people. I don't see it that way. I think it's going to play out like a chess match. I feel like Leon Edwards is going to be very wary of the power and the wrestling, so he's going to want to keep a distance, and he's going to want to keep putting out the jab and teep out there. It's going to be very interesting to see how Tyron Woodley negates that. Do I think that Tyron Woodley is going to be able to negate that? Now, 10 times out of 10, I would say that Tyron Woodley has the ability to negate that and win this fight. Do I think he does in this case and scenario? I'm not sure. I feel like Tyron Woodley is going to have a hard time dealing with this one. I feel like his age and inactivity is going to become a factor in this fight, and I believe that Leon Edwards is going to be able to start catching up with him and making those exchanges count when he does get in close. I feel like Leon Edwards is going to use his distance, and he's going to use his distance, and he's going to be able to cut off Tyron Woodley whenever Tyron Woodley does try to explode. I believe that inactivity is going to finally start to catch up with Tyron Woodley, and I believe that Leon Edwards is going to be able to ride out and coast to a decision win in this fight. And now, that's not something that I say with much confidence, because Tyron Woodley is world class and has the ability to beat any fighter in the world. I just believe that we are walking into a realm of time where Leon Edwards may be becoming a top contender, having seen his fights, see the stylistic matchup of this fight, the age of Tyron Woodley, the inactivity. I believe it's all culminating to this moment where Leon Edwards can take advantage of it, get his 9th win, and go on and get a shot at the belt. Now, so fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm going with Leon Edwards. Now, whilst I make Leon Edwards my official prediction, remember I have no confidence, and I'll be very interested to know what you guys think about this prediction and how you guys see this fight going. This is a very close fight, and one that's very, very tough for me to call, because a lot of it depends on which version of Tyron Woodley comes up. But from what I'm anticipating, I'm expecting a Leon Edwards win. Anyway, fight fans, why don't you guys comment below? Let me know what you thought of the breakdown. Let me know how you see this fight going. Let me know if you enjoyed this breakdown. And remember, if you're new here, like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.